Hi, my name is Sunil Bajaj, and it's fantastic to be here. I've been a lifelong student of how technology shapes retail and consumer brands. I work for Aspire Systems and manage Retail Solutions Business Unit. We provide technology consulting and services to more than 30 retailers as we speak today, which are globally present. And I am fortunate to uh, get to interact with all of them and learn from them. And with that experience and learning, I want to talk about 2 points today. One, the retail industry is start transforming, and pandemic has accelerated the pace of innovation for us. And two, how our technology leaders are focusing and what they are focusing on and how they are preparing for this transformation and change. So, as we speak, the world has changed over last year. For example, a large chunk of the jobs we talk about the IT tech jobs, accounting, marketing, sales, much of media, and even healthcare has moved to work from home status. People have moved out of major cities and suburbs and towns. Online education has finally come to mainstream. And I believe a good part of this change is going to be there for long term. We are never going to go back in the same way of working and same way of educating and same way of transporting uh, the way we used to do before COVID. So when with these changes, our needs and our expectations as consumers has also changed. We now need digital deliveries or grocery deliveries just like pizza deliveries. We need convenience and experience from home when we shop. We need our stores to be very safe and clean environments. We go to stores less often and we want our visits to stores and malls worthwhile. So we need better experiences. We need our needs for home office, our needs for home education, our need for home gyms have changed. When we go to stores, we expect curbside pickup. It's on and on. We can talk about number of experiences, and these are our needs and expectations that have changed. And retail reflects life. That means the changing shopping habits, the changing shopping needs, and the mode of shopping which has changed, and this will continue to evolve even further. Fortunately, the industry has been working on these experiences, which we used to call omni-channel, as we have been working on omni-channel experiences for about a decade. Online sales have been increasing year on year for some time now. So the stores experiences have also been changing somewhat. What this pandemic has done has accelerated the growth of innovation, and the direction has not changed. We have been moving in the same direction. It's just that we are moving at much faster pace, and that innovation and the transformation will continue to happen. So at this point, let's look at few examples. Who is he? His name is Austin Lee. He's one of the top influencers for the live streaming platform Taobao from Alibaba. And yes, he has sold most lipsticks than anybody else on this platform. What is live streaming? An influencer who's on the social media or on this platform is who knows about the product, and he is selling, and he is also entertaining his what the people were watching. The people who watched it, they purchased these products from him, watching all of these streams live. Of course, it's a live stream, and it has become the new rage in China. It has become the new e-commerce, the new experiences of the e-commerce, which merges both an online and an offline presence. mm, other than Alibaba, we have seen the other giants in China like JD.com and Baidu have also jumped on this bandwagon. Let's look at this one more example. It is the homepage for the biggest retailer in US, Walmart. As you can see, this homepage where there are two tabs, pickup and delivery and walmart.com. And pickup and delivery is a homepage for my store, my local store. It tells me what is my what are the products that are available in the local store, what are the promotions that are running locally, what are the coupons that I can use, and it prepares me to for the visit for the local stores. My, as you can see, the shopping journey is also a little bit different, slightly different. You can see the cart on the right hand side. You can add items in your cart much more easily and differently as compared to the regular walmart.com, where you can still do buy online pickup in store. But what it is doing here is it is preparing us to go to a store. It is changing our shopping journey. And we are doing much different in terms of our product research, in terms of our discoveries, in terms of our making lists when we prepare to go to store. And when we go to store, either I can go and pick it up or I can use this list to go through the aisles. Let's take one more example. This is this is called Camp, a store, a kid store. It is not a typical kid store. Here, as you can see, um, kids can not only learn, they can have fun, they can touch things, they can play around, they can jump around. In fact, when we go to this store, we purchase a ticket. It's like an event that you're going in, and of course the adults go free, but the kids have to purchase a ticket. And while you are in the store, it is driven by the activities and fun that the kids will have. And with that experience, they will purchase the things, the items that they really like. Now, in this situation, as you can imagine, the kind of experience that the consumer, the customers are getting, I mean, in this case, kids, the kind of experience that they are getting. And this is the quote from Forbes. And just last month, the future of retail is in this store. And I couldn't agree more. Let's understand what we have just talked about with these examples. We have, if you look at these examples, what we are doing is we are seeing the transformation in front of us, how the e-commerce is transforming, how the stores are transforming, and how the journeys which are transforming between online and in brick and mortar stores. The journeys are no more linear in any way. I can start my path to purchase from the digital platforms, and I can end up in store, and I can start from store and end in digital platform, an e-commerce or a mobile platform. So the journeys are overlapping, they are non-linear, and where we are, what we call this is a unified experience. This is what the experiences across different touch points for the customer. This becomes a unified experience, and this is beyond omnichannel. Omnichannel use cases used to be buy online, pick up in store, ship from store, ship to store, and so on. Now we are taking those use cases to an entirely different level when we are reimagining and rethinking how the e-commerce experience should look like. We are reimagining how the concept of store should look like. And store has become the kind of media, and the media, which is the content, and the e-commerce are the point of purchase for us. And those roles are changing, and I believe this unified experiences and unified commerce is going to be the future. In the next few years, we are going to see this transformation even further accelerating. Now, having said that, Now I come to the second part of what I want to talk about. If you are a technology leader today, you are managing teams in the retail enterprise technology departments and units. You need to make decisions today. How do you prepare yourself for the future, for what we have just talked about? Tech market today is filled with choices. We talk about cloud and different microservices and platforms and headless and so on, analytics and AI. But in this, what should be your strategy? And what I have learned from my customers, from my interactions, I just want to share certain specific strategies that I believe will be useful for you when you are making technology decisions. So this is strategy number one, project to product mindset. Today, as we speak, in most cases, how do we define our projects? How do we prepare for the projects? Typically, we think of some kind of transformation program, projects or the programs. We decide a budget for that program. We look at the features. We predetermine those features, what we want to apply, and then we go for a budget approval to certain committees, steering committees, and the management. We ask them 12 months, 8 months, 18 months at sometimes. And what is our success KPIs? Typically, those are the budgets and timeline when we are executing those projects. And this has been the enterprise project development or software development for more than 2 decades now, I feel. Now, these while certain organizations have made changes and maybe made these shifts to something called project, I would call it as a program approach. I'm sorry, this slide needs a little bit of change. Instead of project approach, I want to call it program approach. Please read it like that. And in this, what we are product approach, what we are talking about is we build it like a product. We don't execute enterprise projects like enterprise projects, but rather like products. We start with a minimum viable product, MVP. We make continuous changes. And if you think about an earlier part of what we were just talking about, unified commerce and unified experiences, those are all newer experiences. We are evolving, we are trying, we are transforming, and that requires continuous change, more innovation, faster learning, and that probably is not possible with the legacy ways of working. So we need to change to more how the products are built today. Products are released, the batches are released much more often, they continue to evolve. And that's the thinking, that's the mindset that we have to go with, that we will learn and we will improve and we will move faster. This is our success need to be measured by the outcome. We talk about, for example, I need to improve the conversion rate on my e-commerce. I need to improve the conversion rates. That's my goal. It can come from by adding certain features or tweaking my reviews and product reviews dashboards and product reviews pages. It can come from some other part of the journey, maybe a one-click checkout and things of that nature. Now, with that as a goal, I will continue to improve on each of these. I will continue to do the A/B testing and release it to my consumers and try to see what's working, what's not working, and prepare to change. And some of the tools that we need to use, enable ourselves to use these tools. Of course, our design thinking is a fantastic tool to continuously come up with ideas and innovate and then execute those. And CI/CD practices, DevOps practices, better engineering tools for QA and release automations. Those are the ones that you need to invest in. Once you invest in those becomes the foundation for the transformation that you are about to see. Now, the second strategy that I want to talk about very quickly are on data unification. So as we just talked about, there are different touch points and the journeys are non-linear. Today, the consumer can start, she can start their journey from social, where she was getting influenced on an Instagram post, then moving from there to the e-commerce or mobile channels, where she's doing the product research and understanding more about this research. She's reading reviews, and then she's probably going to stores to try out that dress with different sizes, which the stores has already prepared for her. So as you can see, in a single journey, the consumer is touching different platforms and different touch points. And how we are able to, as a retailer, I should be able to track that journey. I should be able to keep the context of previous steps, what my consumer has done, what she has done on a social my handle on the social media, what she has done on mobile platform, and what she's going to do in the store. I should be able to track that. And how do I track that? I track it through the data. So it is very simple. It is, but sometimes in the complexity of the things we forget about it. That it is, in order to retain that context, most important thing is the data unification. We always look at it. Some of these important, and we all know how important is customer data, product information, order information, or inventory or sales information. These are the 5 pillars of retail data sets. And these pillars, when we look at these, the context will remain when we are unifying this data, when all of this data is available at a single view, and they are accessible to each of these touch points whenever the consumer is interacting. Now, the third point that I will talk about, as we have just seen, these are the different touch points, right? Now, consumer is in the middle, and she is touching across the different channels and different touch points. But for when we are looking at it from the technology, these are different platforms or solutions. When we talk about store solutions, point of sale, or mobile solutions, or e-commerce solutions, or marketplace, or so on. These are the different solutions that I need to ensure when I am talking about the front-end experiences. Those experiences I have the control when I want to make sure that this journey is tracked across different touch points. I should be able to control and release those features in every single touch point and every single solution. So what does this mean? Today, if we see on the technology side, we don't really have a single unified platform, which we can call it, and which will work across all of these different channels. We have to look at each of these solutions independently. And when we select the technologies and we select the platforms and companies whom we are going with, those decisions need to be made very, very carefully. We need to make sure that we are retaining the context and aligning the experiences across different channels. And if we want to do that, we need to have the complete flexibility to the roadmap that we are thinking. In the previous example that I was talking about, the customer journey, moving from the social to the digital to the store, If each of these channels do not support the features that you want, then you are going to be stuck with half of the journey, or you are going to be stuck with kind of suboptimal experience. And one important point here, what I have learned from my customer is we keep the decoupling of different solutions here. We use things like headless. We use technologies like microservices, or whichever way we want to architect it. But we want to make sure that we have the control and we have the flexibility. We are not locking ourselves in different platforms from different companies in SaaS models today, where it becomes very difficult, and I have to wait for another company to release a feature. I should have the flexibility to create my experiences the way my business is transforming. I should be able to transform logically, rationally, and as well as flexibly. So that's the third point that I wanted to talk about. At this point, I I would just would like to love to take your questions. And by the way, here are some readings we have put together. You can scan this QR code, and you will see that we have put together a few documents for you that we have worked through our experiences and case studies. Feel free to come and read. And anytime you can discuss with me as well, reach out to me on LinkedIn. Thank you for your time.